So what really happens if you fall into a black hole? Science tells us it's the end, like the absolute end, the point where all the laws of physics just get annihilated. But what if it's also a beginning? What if there's a secret hidden in divine consciousness? All right, let's dive into this incredible cosmic mystery together.
And this, right here, is the ultimate question. When space, time, and literally all the rules we understand simply stop, what's left? I mean, this is the very boundary of our knowledge, the edge of reality itself. To even try to answer that, we have to start with the story that science tells us, the epic journey that leads us to this final boundary.
Okay, first up, the story according to science. And trust me, this isn't just a bunch of dry equations. It's a full-on cosmic drama of life and death, a battle of unimaginable forces playing out over billions of years, all leading to the birth of a black hole.
Think about this. For billions of years, every single star is locked in this perfect, violent stalemate. You've got this immense, relentless force of gravity trying to crush the star into a tiny point. But fighting back is the explosive power of nuclear fusion, pushing everything outward. It's this cosmic tug-of-war that lets a star shine and stay stable.
And deep inside that stellar furnace, something absolutely incredible is happening. The star is basically a cosmic factory. It takes the simplest element, hydrogen, and under all that pressure, it forges it into helium. Then it fuses helium into carbon, carbon into oxygen, and on, creating all the heavy elements that make up planets and even us. But this assembly line has a final stop: iron.
And here's where everything changes. See, creating iron doesn't release energy. It actually consumes it. So in an instant, the star's furnace just goes cold. The outward push from all that nuclear energy just vanishes. And with nothing left to fight it, gravity's victory is absolute and totally catastrophic. The star starts to collapse in on itself.
And this is the star's final, most glorious act. The core collapses so violently that it rebounds, triggering one of the most powerful explosions in the entire universe, a supernova. For a moment, it shines brighter than 1 billion suns, scattering all those elements it created, the carbon, the oxygen, the iron, all across the galaxy, literally seeding the cosmos for new stars and new life.
But what happens to the core that's left behind? It just keeps collapsing, crushed by its own gravity into an infinitely dense point that's smaller than a single atom. We call this the Singularity. And it's a place where our entire understanding of the universe completely breaks down. Physics, as we know it, just stops here.
And that brings us right back to our central question. Science has taken us on this incredible journey right to the edge of a cliff, but it can't tell us what's waiting in the abyss below. So to explore that, we need to look at this through a completely different lens.
So let's now explore the secret that wisdom reveals. We're going to shift gears here, moving from physics to philosophy. From the mechanics of how things happen to the meaning of why. This perspective comes from a spiritual tradition known as Behad Gananam, and it doesn't ask how a black hole forms, it asks why. Now, this whole philosophy really hinges on one single, powerful concept, sankalpa. It basically means a willed intention, a conscious thought. So from this viewpoint, the universe isn't some cosmic accident or a random string of events. Nope, it's a deliberate act of creation.
And this view proposes this really cool hierarchy of creators. At the very top, you have a being of immense consciousness, a Param Shiva, who creates an entire universe. And within that universe, you have Mahashivas creating galaxies. And then within those galaxies, beings called Shivas create solar systems just like ours. They don't build with their hands. They create through the sheer power of their intention, their sankalpa.
But here's the thing. Creation is an action, a form of karma. And any action, even a divine one, costs energy. This divine energy is called Param Prakash, or supreme light. As the creator sustains their creation, they are constantly pouring their own energy into it. And over trillions of years, that energy just gets used up. So when that creator's energy is almost totally exhausted, a black hole forms. But in this view, it isn't some engine of destruction at all. It's called Visarjanam, a sacred dissolution. The creator isn't abandoning their work. They're lovingly reabsorbing their own creation. They dissolve the planets, the stars, all the elements, and draw them back into their source, back into the pure energy they came from. It's actually seen as a form of liberation. This quote really gets right to the heart of the idea. It's about a kind of cosmic responsibility. The one who brings a universe into being is also the one who gives it a graceful end, completing the cycle. It's considered a fundamental law of conscious creation. And here's the beautiful part. This is not a permanent end. The soul of the creator rests inside the black hole, kind of like a seed. Over eons, it slowly recharges its divine energy from its own higher source. And once it's fully replenished, it gains the power to begin a whole new cycle, to manifest a new creation all over again.
So now we have these two really profound stories about the exact same cosmic event. One tells us a story of chaotic physical finality, and the other speaks of a purposeful, conscious cycle. Let's put them side by side and just see how they stack up. So here it is. Science brilliantly answers the how. It's all about gravity, physical processes, and what looks like a one-way trip to oblivion. Bihad-Ganam, on the other hand, tackles the why. It suggests it's all about consciousness, intention, and this grand, repeating cycle of creation and dissolution. And they don't necessarily have to contradict each other. One isn't trying to disprove the other, they're just asking fundamentally different questions. And here's where it gets really wild. This perspective suggests that what we see in the night sky is only half the story. That for every visible solar system, there might be another one that has already completed its cycle and is now a black hole, just silently moving through the galaxy, totally invisible to our telescopes. An entire, unseen, dissolved reality hiding in plain sight.
Well, this brings us to one last thought, a way to turn this huge cosmic question back to ourselves. We've looked at the universe through two very different lenses, one that sees pure mechanics and one that sees profound meaning.
So, at the end of the day, the ultimate question isn't just about what's happening in some distant black hole. It's about how we see our own existence. Is your reality just the product of a series of random cosmic events, or is it part of an intentional, conscious play unfolding across all of eternity? The answer you choose defines not just the universe, but you.